I've got a feeling that today the sun is going to be going in and out. There's no rain predicted, but that doesn't mean it won't happen in this country, I'm afraid. Hello everybody. I thought, seeing as it had been a while since I just did a video where I sat and talked about things, that I would discuss YouTube, my experience with it, how I feel about it, the good sides, the bad sides of it. And I asked you guys if you had any questions or topics that you wanted me to address. So I'm going to work my way through these, and if there's anything else that pops in my mind, I'll speak about that as well. It was only up until maybe a week or so ago that I realised I've been doing YouTube for 18 months at this point. How many hours of work do you put into doing YouTube? Possibly cut down into different types of work like research, recording, editing, planning. I try to aim for 2 recording sessions a week, roughly. That depends with work and how much time I have, or just spare time on weekends. So what I aim for is 2 to 2.5 hour recording sessions a week. That's split between 2 channels, but when I was taking a break from Claudie Corner earlier this year, that was because I was short of time and I just had to focus on the one channel. And obviously then I do 2 versions of those edits, one for Patreon, one for YouTube, and then I will try to fit something in for Claudie Corner, and if I can't, then I just focus on the one channel. Why is there so many flies around here, up here today? I think it's the flowers. It's funny because before I started YouTube, I thought the majority of my time I would be spending recording, but I spend probably anywhere between 4, 5, 6 hours a week recording. I probably spend double that editing. So it's anywhere between sort of 8 and 12 hours a week editing, rendering, and then I put everything onto a secure hard drive with the source files, so if anything goes wrong I've got backup, plus the scheduling, making sure it's all organised in a calendar so I know when things are going out. That is what takes a lot of time. You also mentioned research. I can't say I do too much research on the shows, but I will always check out a show like the trailer, or I'll see what the reviews are of it. Sometimes even, you know, it will sort of say if you've watched shows like this, then you might like this. And then I look to see if anyone have recommended similar shows to something I've watched before. I do one day intend to have an editor, and I would like to be able to delegate that work. But when you build a routine and you have something that works, you're very careful to give that up to somebody else, because I have my own editing style. I need to give that to somebody else, and that's going to take time as well. What are some of your morals/ways to keep doing good when working as a YouTuber? Really appreciate your channel, the entertainment you provide, and your honesty. Thank you, that's very, very sweet of you. There's a bit of a stigma, right, when it comes to YouTube content creation and all that kind of stuff. You just don't want to be a YouTuber. Like, I don't ever want to be like an influencer or a content creator. And I can talk a bit, I suppose, about why I've steered clear of certain things that would label me in that space. Like, I don't take on brand deals because it morally feels wrong. I'll explain my reasons for that, because I think at this point I've had maybe 2 or 3 offers by companies, and they was like, you know, would you be open to hearing some numbers about like what we would pay you, and like upfront and affiliate links and all this kind of thing. And I've just declined all of them. And it's not because I'm trying to be like good in terms of like, oh, I'm just trying to be different, because I have no issue with earning money from what I'm doing, and I can also explain that and my reasons for my Patreon and things like this. What I have issue with is sending my audience to a company's website to spend money on a company in the hopes that I will get a financial return when I don't know what that company is truly about. I don't know how they treat their employees. I don't know their ethics. I don't know their products, especially if it's like a software, or one was like an AI company. So I don't know what they train their AI data on. I don't know how they store their user information. There's so many complexities to that it makes me feel really uncomfortable. And then with Patreon, I did a lot of research. Why is there so many flies? Bear with me. Most people were very happy with signing up for creator-based subscriptions through Patreon. That's why I went with that as opposed to YouTube and a bunch of other options. And it was an option for me to be able to earn consistently from my audience without needing to rely on ad revenue. I'm not at a point where I can do YouTube full-time and earn like a living from it, but I am at the point where it brings in, for me at the moment, a side income. Not a side hustle. I'm not Gary Vee. YouTube ad revenue brings in a couple of $100 a month, and that's if you're lucky. If you have a bad month, it's considerably lower. Whereas Patreon allows something more consistent, just means I can kind of think a month in advance without needing to take breaks and focus on work. So the Patreon is the reason I'm able to carry everything out. You talk about morals or ways of doing things to try and be a good YouTuber. There was plenty of people in my audience that didn't agree with me doing a Patreon. They didn't like that I was now charging for additional content, and I think they felt they would miss out if they didn't subscribe to it. And that wasn't the intention at all. It was something of benefit to me. There's no lie about it. Like, as a creator, it allows you to develop consistency, but it also allows you to do something additionally on a separate platform, not only for your audience, but also for security as a creator. Should that YouTube channel fall overnight, should something go wrong and I lose that channel, well, I have my Patreon, you know? So I've always got an audience that I can start fresh with should anything go wrong. And again, it just provides that security. So when you mentioned that question, I probably haven't answered it fully, and I will try to, but that was the first thing that popped in my head in terms of morals, because some people would think that's wrong to charge an audience. I think it's more wrong to send them to another company's website to pay for a subscription they probably don't need, or they could get a better competitor somewhere else online, in the hopes of me earning from an affiliate link or a sponsorship. I do my best to not try and create overly stimulating content. I do my best to not fall into that influencer trap of trying to harvest attention and constantly try to retain an audience. Like, it would never bother me if someone got bored of my content and wanted to stop watching it. I do it in a way where I feel it's enjoyable and placid, and you don't feel exhausted watching it. So I don't want to be that, hi guys, how are you everybody? Click like and subscribe. I can't stand that kind of energy and that sort of presenter-based mindset when recording videos. I just hate it. So morally, it feels right to just try and be myself, talk as candidly as possible, and I feel that's just more beneficial to an audience, especially a younger audience. Yeah, I don't know if I sit there and try to be good and a good person, because I think that's almost putting too much pressure on myself. But I do try to do good by my content to whoever it may be that is involved in it. If it's to the audience, I will always be genuine. If I don't feel I like something, I won't continue a show. I won't put out reactions to it. I'm not interested in just sticking by something if I don't enjoy it. I will always be willing to support and push shows that I feel deserve more exposure. And I hope that my reactionary content comes across in the right way. I'm not looking to steal or harbour content. I'm looking to share it, discuss it, theorise, hypothesise about it, get people talking and talking about the right part of shows. I think that's something I've done wrong as well at one point. I'll go into that a bit later. Yeah, I try to do right. I don't always, probably, but I try to be as candid as possible, put out content that is as me as it possibly can be, and do right by whatever content I'm including in that video. What's the best thing that has come from making videos for you? Ooh. I suppose just what I'm doing. Having something other than my work that is of success to me. A small percentage of it can be tiring or exhausting, or there's some bad stuff that comes along with it, but it's something I enjoy. I suppose the confidence boost, like to be able to put yourself out on the internet and stick by it for 18 months. I don't know, I don't say I'm proud of myself a lot, because I don't think what I'm doing is particularly hard, but it has been difficult for me, and the fact I've stuck by myself, I don't know, I am proud of that, and I'm appreciative to the version of me 18 months ago that was willing to take a risk and put a video out on the internet, because now I'm in a place where I'm doing something I genuinely enjoy, and I've gained confidence with it, so I feel I could go on to do more if I wanted to. So I think that's quite important to me. Also, how are you able to articulate your thoughts when reacting to episodes so well? See, this is the funny thing, right? I don't feel I do. I feel I'm a fucking rambler who never quite articulates herself very well at all. There is an interesting, I wasn't going to talk about this, but I will, because it's interesting. It's something I've noticed about myself. I've developed a bit of a stammer. Where I'm, oh, the sun's come out, hello. Where I'm recording and editing myself. So I'm reacting to content, but when I'm editing, there's a version of me that is reacting to myself as I'm working through an edit. And I've developed a bit of a stammer where in conversation, when I'm not recording, like say I'm talking to my parents or, you know, family, friends, whatever, colleagues, I'll be saying something, and if I trip up over a word, I don't just carry on, I stop and brace myself to try and re-say the word, because my brain's still in recording mode, where my brain goes, you've got to redo that take, you've got to say that again, right? So there's this weird thing. The past 6 months specifically, I have got really bad at articulating myself outside of recording, or sometimes in, like, whilst recording. There's this sort of weird self-awareness that I've developed now, where I kind of know where moles are on my face, or like I know like little tics that I do more than I ever did before. A weird sensation that I've had to deal with, I'd say. But in terms of articulation, I don't know, I've always liked talking. I've always been good at that. Not always to my benefit, but I've always liked to talk. I've always liked to discuss things in depth. That's why I like shows that are complex and allow you to, I suppose, explore it and sort of throw yourself into it. And I suppose that just allows for better articulation or ideas to come out, maybe, I don't know. And I suppose maybe I wouldn't if I wasn't recording. If I was just watching a show on my own, I don't think I'd sit and think about stuff to the degree that I do. I feel it's a duty of me to. I think there's also like an insecurity thing. I don't want to be just a reaction YouTuber. I don't want to be someone that just sits and stares at something and goes, oh, and then goes back to blankly staring at whatever content you're looking at and just kind of goes, okay. I like the idea of being really into what I'm watching and thinking about it, because there's time that people have put into it, whether they're the actors, the writers. There's people that have put a lot of time and energy into that work. And I don't want to ever be someone that is just harbouring content. I want to make sure I come across as a fan of the show, which is what I am. I'm not just watching it for the sake of putting it on YouTube. I really do try to emphasise that, I think. Do you have any specific methods, or does it just come naturally to you? I really wish I could tell you that I have a plan and that I know what I'm doing, but I don't. I do just sit down, hit record and go, right, come on, Claude, you can do this. You can do this. You know, I literally did it today. I was like, I can answer these questions. It's not what to say, but how I want to put myself across, because I don't want it to seem like I'm ever clueless or I don't know what I'm doing. And the problem is I usually am very clueless and I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I'll put it this way. What you're seeing is probably the most candid I could be at this point in time on camera. But I've had to learn how to be like this on camera, like I'm just talking to anybody, I'm just talking to a friend or a colleague or whatever, because when I started there was this self-awareness of like, I'm on camera right now, I'm being filmed, and you have to learn to forget that that's there. I was able to relax into it more and drop the mask a little bit and ease into it, and it felt more comfortable for me. So I wouldn't say it was natural for me, but this is the most natural version of me that I've been. Am I making sense? How articulate am I now? Oh, dearie me, I hope this comes out well. How have your thoughts and feelings on YouTube in general and being a creator specifically changed since you started? I would say that even small creators get a lot of exposure. Like, someone would look at me, and I've had a few, I don't want to say hate comments because they're not, it's just somebody being difficult, but I've had a few comments in my time where someone said something like, you know, as a small creator, I feel your videos could be better if you did this, or, you know, you haven't grown a lot in this time. Like, I've even shared it with a couple of you in the Discord. You'll get weird comments like that, and I think people forget. I mean, on the other channel, I think as of this point, I checked this morning, I think I'm almost at 800 subscribers on Claudie Corner, and on the other channel it's something like 15k. I don't think people realise how many people have to sit and watch your videos and look at your channel for 15,000 people, like a small arena / concert hall of people to click the subscribe button. Like, yeah, there are bots, and there are people that just click and then probably never look at your videos again or even remember who you are. So it's not all active audience, for sure. But say even if it's 5,000, 10,000, that's a lot of people. And those people have a lot of opinions about you, some right, some wrong. Like, to put something in perspective, right, just in case you are new around here or haven't seen me discuss this before. In November of 2024, I started reacting to the TV show Arcane. And actually there's a comment up here I've realised I've skipped over. How and why did you start YouTube? A friend of mine mentioned to me the show Arcane and said that they think I'd enjoy it and that maybe I would consider watching it. And I was talking about YouTube and content creation, and they was like, why don't you film your reactions, put it online, you never know what could happen. And within 3.5 weeks, so by middle of December, this was like late November I started posting, by the middle of December I had hit 1,000 subscribers, I had 4,000 hours of watch time, and I could apply for monetization. Like, that's how quick I grew in about 3.5 weeks. And it was baffling because all of a sudden people cared about my opinion. People would look into every single word I said. People would take things out of context. People would keep things in context. All of a sudden people were interested in me in many different degrees, and I still don't know how to deal with that at all. The sun came out for all of about a minute and a half and then it's gone away again. I'd love to hear your thoughts on dealing with hostility while chasing goals. As a sophomore from, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that, but as a sophomore from China, forgive me, when I was preparing for my qualifications, my peers and roommates isolated me just because they hated seeing me work hard. They sound like arseholes. Even faced malicious reports. Fortunately, I found a friend with the same experience. As a creator who might face similar noise, how would you handle this situation? Like, from my friends and family, there was no hostility, and just because I was doing well at something, I didn't experience anything of that nature. So I can't fully resonate with it. But I do know that there were people within my own audience that resented me from moving on and watching different shows, for example. Like, at the time when I was watching Arcane, it was a very intense audience that wanted me to talk about Arcane and nothing else. I think because I got such quick growth from one show, they felt like I was just going to become a YouTuber that talked about things in a certain space. They really didn't like that I moved on to a show like... They were okay with... The Blue Eye Samurai era wasn't too bad. Oh, look! Oh, I couldn't pick it up in time. There was a butterfly went straight over my head, sorry. I did have audience members email me. Like, I got an email once that said something like, I'm really disappointed in you. You didn't stick by Arcane and you've given up on a show that gave you success and all this sort of thing. And people saying, you know, why are you reacting to shows with straight couples? Why not stick to queer content? Are you queer baiting? Like, I got a bunch of stuff like that at one point. Like, people whose opinions I actually care about, if they said, hey, you've lost your fucking mind or you've turned into an arsehole, then I would stop and listen to them. But people who don't really know me, they just know my content, you know, one minute they loved me and they couldn't wait to watch more of my videos, and then the next minute they hate me, they're bored of me, they don't care anymore. I experienced a lot of that switch up where somebody all of a sudden likes you and then they hate you. That was a big shift and took me a while to, I don't know, I don't want to say come to terms with, because I can't say it bothered me that much, but lose anger or frustration about. You know, I'd be sitting there like, am I just a fucking entertainer? Like, am I a court jester to you people where you forget I'm actually a person behind the camera? Like, it sounds like a real cliche thing, like, I'm a real human being. But I really do think some people forget. Some people forget I am just sat there clicking record, I edit it, and then I put it out online and I go, let's hope this goes well. Let's hope people like this. I think some people forget that they can come across hostile, that they are actually affecting a person. But also, with every time that happens, you get stronger at dealing with it. And you do get to the point where you just think, I don't give a shit anymore. I can't say I can give you too much advice on it because your situation's different to mine. I suppose when people show their true feelings and true character, you know who to avoid. So treat it as a gift, I suppose, in one way or another, is the only way you can look at it. Oh, there's another comment here. How do you deal with haters? For me personally, that would probably be the hardest part, since I tend to take everything people say about me really to heart. To say that a comment would never play on my mind would be a lie, because they do. Like, someone could say something about you and you're like, well, that's a fucking horrible thing to read. Great. And then you have to get on with your day. I'll tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, when dealing with a lot of anxiety, I came up with a promise to myself, which was, on a good day, when things are going really well, and, you know, you're on top of the world, and things are going your way, don't buy into it too much. And then I also promised myself, when things are going really bad and you don't like how you look or how you sound or what's going on in the world, or like when things are on a negative slump, don't listen to that too much either. Don't listen to your thoughts about yourself when things are going badly. And also don't listen to yourself too much when things are going well. But I started putting that same idea to feedback. So instead of my own mental feedback, I put that idea to comments, which was if somebody tells you that you're great and that you're really, really good, don't truly listen to it too much. Humble yourself. Don't sit there and think, oh yeah, I'm really great, I'm great at what I do, I'm amazing. Because you're not. You're just a person who films stuff and puts it on the internet. There are plenty of people in the world who are more important than you, more poignant than you within everyday society, and you are just somebody who sits and talks about TV shows. You are not important beyond the grand scheme of things. So humble yourself. You don't matter that much, right? And then when you are down and you feel really shit about yourself, don't listen to that either. So if there's a day I don't feel I look particularly good, or in a video, you have days where you have bad skin, bad hair, you're just not looking yourself. You just say to yourself, well, I'm going to have no opinions about how I look today. I'm just going to get on with it. I'm going to edit the video, I'm going to put the video out, and I'm going to forget it. And if somebody has something to say about it, let them say something. I'll delete the comment and carry on and do another video. Like, I try to stay as emotionally consistent as I can. Doesn't always work. There are things that get under my skin. There are things that piss me off. Like, you can have a bad day at work, and then you'll get a couple of bad comments, or people will point out something in a video and they've taken it out of context and a bunch of people are ranting in the comment section, and you want to scream. Of course you do. You're going to get people who like you, and then something changes, and then they don't like you, and they'll tell you, or you'll find out from somebody else. That's always fun. But it's part and parcel of the game, I suppose. You have to just roll with the punches a little bit. And like I say, I try not to indulge in either side of it. If somebody says something negative to me, I try to not see it as the truth. I try to just see it as their opinion, and that I am emotionally distant to that opinion, and I do not care for it. And if somebody tells me I'm the best thing ever and they love my videos so much and I've made their life so much better and it's all amazing, I just think, they're probably just fixated on something. They don't really mean it. That's okay. I appreciate them leaving the comment, but I'm not going to dwell on it. And I try to keep as level-headed and humble as possible and not indulge in negativity or too much positivity, because I feel both of them can have their negative effects. Focus on how I feel about my content. Am I enjoying it? Am I enjoying making and editing and putting that content out? And if I do, then I continue to do it. And if there's ever a point I don't, then I will not continue to do it. What are your thoughts on teenagers using social media? Right, I've got a lot to say on this. Do you think children should be allowed to be used in YouTube videos, like family channels and vlogging? Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts about children and teenagers on YouTube or other platforms alike, Instagram, TikTok. I truly think in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you are going to hear some absolute fucking horror stories about children influencers and children that have grown up in the public eye. We have heard horrific things about child actors, child stars, Disney stars, and everything that's gone wrong with them. But these are people that are models, actors, singers, dancers, whatever. They play characters on children's TV shows or movies or whatever, and then they grow up to become an adult, and then we see these problems, right? There are children right now, toddlers, babies, young children, pre-teens, teens, whatever, who are growing up with their own home, their own bedrooms, videos of them in pajamas or being potty trained on the internet forever. And I am absolutely disgusted by any parent or guardian that willingly does that to their children. I do not get it at all. There is probably, I still don't truly agree with it, but there's ways of doing it where the children are protected, they're not fully on camera, but they can give their opinion or be in the videos. I don't know, I don't understand. You're filming them eating breakfast, or when they're in their pajamas, or that you're filming them taking a bath, and you're just censoring it. I don't understand how if you willingly care for the welfare and safety of that child, how you could possibly think of putting them on the internet. We're not talking kids singing and going on tour, which is fucking mental when you think about it anyway, but we're not even talking that. We're talking people who have had their whole childhood filmed, documented, scrutinised. They have been humiliated. Their parents are showing how they discipline their kids and then put it online. They have been trained to perform from when they are developing their brains, and that goes out on the internet. I cannot fathom how, as a parent, you would let your child be online and make content, or even worse, encourage them to do content by including them in your own family channels and shit. I don't even know why 2 fully grown adults have relationship channels, but there we go, that's just probably not my thing. There are ways around it, there's ways of maintaining privacy, and there's ways of doing it in actually quite a sweet way. There's ways of telling anecdotes about funny things that happen and not having to include people in videos. There's ways of discussing your experiences with parenthood, the things you get up to with your kids, but doing it in a way where it doesn't put them on camera or humiliate them or in any way expose them to the creeps online. Like, I'll just put this very bluntly, right? And this is a horrible thing to think about, but I'm gonna have to say it because I don't think people do think about it like this. You putting your kid online, your kid could be fully clothed, there could be nothing in any way inherently sexual about what you're doing with your children online, but somebody out there will perceive it as something that could be arousing for them. Like, and that happens to people that are fully grown adults or children. You are putting yourself out on the internet, somebody is going to like it to some degree. And I don't even want to think about to the degree that they could like things. If you are putting your child out online, somebody is watching your content for the purposes of arousal. And it's gross. And I cannot understand as a fully grown adult how you would ever not have the foresight to consider that. I don't get it. I am adamant people with family channels and people that put kids online must be a bit dumb. And they must not have a very good IQ, because how you could ever do it, I don't know. Anyway, I'm ranting about something that's nothing to do with my own YouTube experience, but I wanted to talk about it because there is no real laws or safety procedures to protect the children. And like I say, you are going to hear some absolute horror stories. And there already has been horror stories, but you're going to hear even more, I can assure you. As the years go on, it's going to get even worse. Since starting out, can you give 2 examples, one positive, one negative, that you didn't expect from your experience as a creator? Yeah. I suppose the positive thing would be I cannot believe people give a shit. I cannot believe that me sitting there watching TV shows is entertaining for other people. I get it because I edit the videos and there are bits that are very funny and, you know, my reaction is hilarious to things at points, you know, like it is entertaining and I get that. But I'm amazed people stick around and I'm amazed that people enjoy it, and it means a lot. That's a very positive thing that I never expected to happen. And even now, it's still quite jarring. Since starting YouTube, I've had like 3 million views on Claudie TV. 3 million views? That's ridiculous. Like, when you actually put it in perspective, it's mental. I mean, I have patrons that pay to support me and want more content from me. They want to see more of my face and hear more of what I have to say. I find it crazy. This channel is me playing games that I'm not very good at and usually just giggling and getting up to stuff, and people watch it. Like, that is mental to me. Like, and it sounds like I'm just trying to be humble or try and like sound appreciative. No, I genuinely have to catch myself because I don't understand it. Sorry, I had to walk around for a sec, I got cramp. Can you remind me to not do these videos on the floor next time if I ever do another one of these? Can someone say to me, chair, sit on a chair, and I will. I think an important thing though, you said mention 1 positive and 1 negative. The negative with getting attention is that you do get unwanted attention, and I have experienced that a lot. I will talk about it. I'm always scared to bring it up because it is an awkward thing for me to talk about, because I would say this is the biggest negative I've had. When I was watching Arcane, there was a large group of new audience that came in, and this was after it actually. This was like after season 2. I got included in some compilations particularly of YouTubers reacting to Kate Vi and that space. I'll put it that way because I'm not quite sure how to talk about it. God, this is really difficult. I didn't think I'd have such a hard time talking about this because I've talked about it a few times, especially with you guys in the Discord. I've brought it up a few times. I didn't think I'd like freeze up like this. And I suppose I'll just come out and say it. I got a lot of people that became interested in me. They stopped being interested in the characters so much and then started shifting that attention towards me. When you're at the point where people are finding you on Instagram or LinkedIn to send you inappropriate DMs. I'm tiptoeing around this because I don't really want to bring myself to say it, but I'm sure you can put the pieces together. There's a point where you just think, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm really uncomfortable, and you start massively resenting not only your content but yourself. It sort of just kept popping up, and every time I thought it would die down and people would move on, it didn't. And I'm sorry if that feels like in any way I'm being judgmental, because I'm not. Like, I've got nothing against shows with those kind of plot lines. I just refuse to put myself in a position where people are going to watch me watching them. Like, even Pluribus, by the way, I was very, very hesitant on watching Pluribus. I asked multiple people whether or not I should watch the show. My mum had checked the show out, and I was like, am I going to run into issues if I watch this? The reason it got to me so much and why it was such a negative side of it all is because it was very easily preventable. If I, during those reactions, hadn't indulged in talking about Kate Bye, and I had just had the self-awareness to, like, not make jokes, even though, like, they're jokes I'd want to make, but actually have a little bit more self-awareness of, like, no, don't do that because here's what's going to happen. That's what annoyed me. That's why it was such a negative experience, because it could have been easily prevented. And it's my fault. Like, I should have put more preventative measures. I should have realised that could happen. I didn't assume it was ever going to happen because I don't think of myself in a way where I assumed people would take that shift and start talking to me in a certain way. I was gaining an audience. The audience was happy. Even though I wasn't, I felt like I was doing right by them to just, you know, keep talking about Arcane, keep talking about those characters, keep making jokes about it, show that I'm open to discussing queer characters and there's no prejudice or anything like that from me, and be a space for people to talk about those things. I thought by doing that it would play out well, and it didn't. There was a good chunk of time where I thought, I don't want to do YouTube anymore, because if my audience that I've gained, which is lovely, but if that audience only wants me to talk about queer ships and all this kind of thing, and they don't give a crap about the complexity of a show or the writing of a great show or the animation itself, they're just really looking for characters that they can, I don't know, get a kick out of. And they want me to do that they want me to be the entertainer for that. I was like, what am I, this isn't me, this isn't what I enjoy doing, this isn't the space I want to go into. And again, my fault. I should have had much more foresight. I should have been able to plan for it, set boundaries quicker, and not go along with it and put my foot down quicker. I'm just too nice, and I didn't. And it led to a whole bunch of problems. So yeah, I've tiptoed around this, I've rambled, but it's one of these things where I can't string it all together because there's a lot of thoughts going on. So I'll just do my best in the edit. You will have people that are 1 minute your biggest fan, and the next minute they hate you. And they will make it very clear that they hate you. They will tell you that you have let them down, that you are not who they thought you were, and that you are a waste of space that should, you know. Another thing I'll mention, because this just highlights the extremes. You'll have an email where someone's being inappropriate with you in one way, and then you'll get an email where it will say something like, "Hi Claudie, I just want you to know that your videos have saved me and that I've been experiencing extreme depression," or something of the sort, right? Something along those lines. And then at the end it will say something like, "So don't stop making videos or I'm going to kill myself." Yeah, that was like a genuine email that I got. I actually have had 2 emails of a similar context. I'm gonna gently say this because I fully understand that somebody who's sending an email of that caliber is probably not in the right state of mind. As someone who has experienced mental health issues at different points in her life, real low points to put it lightly, do you realise how triggering an email like that could be for me to read? Do you have any idea the feeling of pressure that I now feel, even if it is subjective and it's not real and you're only making a joke or whatever? Do you know how that feels for me to read? Like, genuinely. I think some people are so poorly self-aware when someone messages me saying, like, "Don't stop making videos." there was one that literally said, don't take any breaks. I need a video every week from you. Sorry? This is this thing for me where the biggest negative is just because somebody is a fan does not mean that you are a fan of them, and you don't have to be because they're not someone who's particularly likable. 96 minutes. God, I do know how to rant, don't I? Oh, these two I can kind of merge together because somebody said, how and why did you start YouTube? I've been over that. How do you think this journey will end? Bit ominous, but... And then one more here. What is your 10-year plan? So I'll kind of merge those together. Look, I don't even have a 10-week plan. I'm not someone that likes to think particularly long term. I find it extremely anxiety provoking, and it creates like a frustration within me. I don't even really know what that is. It's probably something deep I need to figure out. But the thought of sitting there having a 10-year plan with YouTube is absurd. I will not be doing YouTube in 10 years, I can tell you that. Well, no, okay. If I am doing content in 10 years' time, I hope that I'm doing it because I genuinely enjoy it and that I'm able to manage it better, because at the moment it's very time heavy. In the first question you said like, how many hours do you spend a week? I said somewhere around like 4 to 6 to record and maybe like 12 hours to edit, but I do spend way more than that. I spend way more time sitting at my desk figuring things out, scheduling stuff. YouTube takes its toll, and I wouldn't be able to keep this up, the pace I'm at, for another 12 months, let alone another 10 years. Like, something's going to have to shift. Either I'm going to need to delegate to an editor, or I'm going to have to shift my content somehow so that it's easier for me in terms of the schedule and the repetition of videos. Like, I can't think 10 years out. I might not even be here in 10 years. Like, I can't think 10 years out. You know, 10 years ago I was 17. And if you said to me at 17, what would you be doing at 27? I'd be like, no idea. I don't even want to think about it. I go week by week, month by month, and if I ever feel I need a break or I need to shift, then I do. That's my plan, is to pivot as and when needed. How do I think my YouTube journey will end? Honestly, I think I'll just fizzle out. I think I will make videos to the point where I don't want to make videos. I don't know, maybe that's a sad thing to think about for some people. It's not to me. I will do this for as long as I enjoy it. And if there's a point where I no longer enjoy it, then I will stop. And it's not based on time frame for me. There is no 10-year plan, there is no 12-month plan. I go week by week, month by month, and I do what I enjoy and I do what I'm capable of. I have no ambition of becoming a huge YouTuber. I have no ambition to become one of the biggest in the space. I have no ambition to become someone who is pioneering or entrepreneurial necessarily. There's some things I'd like to do creatively in my life. There's some things I'd like to, like I mentioned before, YouTube allowed me to build confidence in taking a jump. I'd like to take some other jumps, I suppose, at some point. There's some other things I'd like to try, but I have no immediate plan to do so, nor do I give myself pressure to take any jumps and do anything in the near future. I have no plan. The plan is that I have no plan. The day where I have my year scheduled out in front of me is the day where I will not want to do it anymore. I have a calendar. I try to organise things so that I don't overwhelm myself or get behind on schedule. But beyond that, there is no plan. And as always, I understand people love the content, but if there's ever a point I don't love it, then that is the point I will stop. That's the way I do things. So I do hope you've enjoyed the video. I really do enjoy just setting up a camera and yapping. So I might do some more of that as time goes on. Maybe some different settings, different topics. You tell me if you think that would work. I do plan to do some more gaming. That is something I enjoy. Card opening as well. Also had a lot of fun doing those. The Disney Neon, which are the ones I was going to get more of, they are at the moment completely sold out. I've even spoke to the customer support at a few different distributors and they're like sold out everywhere except for eBay, and I don't know if I trust eBay. So I'm waiting for some new up and coming launches. I'll see what I can do, I'll see what I can find. Also, it's expensive, it's a bit of a layout for me, so I'll do it as and when I can. I'm gonna head in before it rains. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this, do give it a thumbs up, always helps me out. Subscribe, put notifications on, that way you won't miss anything. and I'll see you for the next one. Toodles!